1-800-973-1161. That's 1-800-973-1161 now.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
Follow News 1226 on Instagram to see what's trending in your area.
On your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
If you want a line to move quickly and efficiently, you're calling the experts, right? That's why this Chick-fil-A manager is back, helping more South Carolinians get their COVID shots.
It is his pleasure, but new First at 5, we're learning there are now 19 confirmed cases of the UK COVID variant in Georgia.
The State Department of Public Health says the cases are confirmed in people aged 15 to 61. 8 of them are male. We're told 11 are female. Here's a look at the counties where this new strain has been identified. First obtained by our I-team. All of them are in Metro Atlanta. The CDC predicts the UK variant is likely to be the dominant strain in the U.S. sometime in March.
Now, so far, no other variants have been found in Georgia, but in South Carolina, both the UK and the South African variant have been detected, and so far it's the only state in the nation with confirmed cases of the South African strain. With new strains emerging, all eyes are on the state's vaccine rollouts. Today, South Carolina AARP, health leaders, disability advocates joining forces to challenge DHEC's plans.
The plan is to distribute the vaccine to counties based on their population size rather than factoring in each county's age and social demographics. News 12 Sydney Heiberger sat in on their meeting today. She tells us why they are making this push. Since that decision, South Carolina AARP released a new study confirming the CDC's finding that non-Hispanic African Americans are disproportionately impacted from COVID. Add in the fact that 95% of COVID deaths come from people over the age of 50, and now groups are saying these factors should not be counted out. DHEC claims their decision was based on their desire to deliver the vaccine the most efficient and simple way possible, but other health advocates say this model ignores the disproportionate amount of elderly or vulnerable people who may live in low population areas. In Aiken County, for example, the per capita model would provide about 1,900 doses per week. Edgefield County would get around 300. When you factor in age and social vulnerabilities, Aiken County's allotment would go down to about 1,700, and Edgefield, who has a higher proportion of elderly, would get nearly 550.
My vaccine appointment isn't until the middle of February, which is 6 weeks from the time I tried it. 73, I am a veteran, not on TRICARE, and I'm a cancer patient. So, I should be the head of the line.
DHEC is set to discuss and reevaluate their decision on February 11th. In the meantime, a bill is sitting in South Carolina's state Senate that could require DHEC to include these factors. Reporting in Augusta, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
And in Georgia, the vaccine distribution plan follows a model that looks like what these groups are asking DHEC to consider for South Carolina. In deciding how many vaccines to allocate, the state factors in population, the level and spread of the disease in each area, and the number of people considered at a priority to get the vaccine.
Celebration this morning in Columbia at Gamecock Park's drive-through vaccination site. That's where Prisma Health administered its 100,000th COVID vaccine. The medical group says it's administered the most Pfizer vaccinations of any provider in the state, with 30% of the 341,000 doses received. Officials say their rapid vaccine expansion was in response to Governor McMaster's call on hospitals to speed things up. Governor McMaster saying today he wants to see more providers follow in Prisma's footsteps.
But we want the pharmacies and those out in the more rural areas to do the same things that our hospitals are doing now. And when we get everyone operating at maximum capacity, that will be good news for the people of South Carolina.
State health officials say South Carolina will see a 16% increase in its weekly shipment of first vaccine doses from the federal government starting this week.
Governor Brian Kemp also speaking out today about COVID. He says Georgia is seeing some progress with the 7-day moving average, percent positive cases, hospitalizations all down. Still, he says we have to stay alert, especially with the threat of these new variants.
It's more important than ever for us to continue to get the vaccine out. Our goal is to make sure that we're vaccinating the people that are going to have the worst health outcomes if they get COVID and that will potentially end up in our hospitals. If we can do that, that will help us manage the virus as we get to herd immunity through vaccination.
And just into our newsroom within the last hour, AU Health will soon be taking appointments for their vaccination clinic at Aiken Tech. Eligible South Carolinians can start signing up this Wednesday. You do have to make an appointment online. We'll link you to that site on WRDW.com. Looking at the latest vaccination numbers across the two-state, in Georgia, close to 924,000 vaccines have been administered. In South Carolina, close to 419,000. Today, the CDC is reporting more than 30 million Americans have gotten at least their first dose of a coronavirus vaccine.
To weather now as we take a live look outside from our camera over in Aiken and check in with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale on this first day of February.
First day of February and definitely feeling like it, Richard. Definitely a chill to the air this afternoon. Some clouds with us, and we're expecting that wind to pick up. That's going to be our main weather story as we head into tonight and tomorrow. Just some gusty conditions moving in behind this system, now moving off the coast. Here's a current look at radar. Very light returns through Aiken, Barnwell, Bamberg, Allendale counties. I don't think this is really accumulating to much. Maybe a few raindrops at the most. Just some very dry air in place, but some cloud cover draping across most of the two-state. Not expecting to see these clear skies until we get to around mid-morning on Tuesday. Our winds are starting to pick up, though, especially on the Georgia side of the river. 15-mile-an-hour sustained wind up in Wilkes County. Same thing in Louisville. Everybody should be seeing these winds pick up between 10 to 15 as we head in through tonight. And then during the day on Tuesday, our western counties are going to stay underneath a wind advisory. Some gusty conditions with some gusts up to 35 miles an hour possible as we head into tomorrow. The wind and the chill definitely a factor out there currently. Currently feeling like the 30s across many of our southwestern counties. Have a look at a chilly Tuesday, but some rain possible later into the week in just a little bit.
Riley, thank you. First at 5, we're learning Dustin Diamond has died at the age of 44. You might remember him best as the lovable nerd Screech on Saved by the Bell. A spokesperson says Diamond died this morning, just 3 weeks after being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the tributes are already pouring in. Fellow Saved by the Bell co-star Mario Lopez posting this photo of the two on Twitter. He writes he'll miss Diamond and that the fragility of this life is something never to be taken for granted.
Saved by the Bell. We all watched that, didn't we? Okay, here at home, South Carolina Congressman Joe Wilson.
We apologize for the audio difficulties.
One of the suspects in a fatal Aiken County nightclub shooting is now in local custody. 27-year-old Moncia Courtney was arrested last month in Florida on charges of criminal conspiracy. It's for her alleged role in the shooting at the 7th Lounge in Aiken, where one person was killed and 14 others were injured. 5 arrests have been made so far in this case. The most charges, those are against this man, Dustin Williamson. He is charged with murder, 10 counts of attempted murder, and weapons charges. He's also charged in the murder of a 77-year-old woman shot inside her home just hours after the shooting at the 7th Lounge.
They are still looking for answers today in Gainesville, where 6 people were killed by a liquid nitrogen leak at a poultry plant. Right now, investigators are looking into whether conditions at the Foundation Food Group plant contributed to the accident. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board says it'll look at everything from equipment to training, procedures, human error. Officials over the weekend saying they're focused on finding out how that liquid leaked inside when it's stored outside.
We do know that major portions of the liquid nitrogen system, both interior and exterior, were installed and commissioned in the last 4 to 6 weeks.
So a relatively new system in place there, but investigators say the plant received 2 to 3 tractor-trailer loads of liquid nitrogen daily, which they say is a lot. Depending on how complex the investigation is, it could take several years before we get the final report. Happening now, Augusta commissioners discussing naming the Augusta Utilities Building in honor of Public Utilities Director Tom Wiedmeyer. He died back in August from complications from COVID-19 after serving Augusta for more than 15 years. The commission hearing to rename the Utilities Building just got started about an hour and 10 minutes ago. It'll be for public comment only. We'll let you know what comes out of it. Maybe you've seen the video either here or on social media, but now we know this Chick-fil-A manager will be back on front lines helping speed up this drive-through vaccination process in South Carolina.
This started back on January 22nd at a vaccine clinic in Mount Pleasant. Shortly after opening, the computer system handling registrations went down. hundreds of people had to wait in line for hours. So, who would you call? Well, the mayor said Chick-fil-A would know what to do.
Yeah, they would. The manager there, Jerry Wakawayak, added some more volunteers, cut down that wait time to just 15 minutes, doing what he knows best. More than 1,000 people got the vaccine there that day. And when they go back for the second dose next week, that Chick-fil-A manager will be right back there on the ground, boots on the ground, lending his expertise. The whole world should run that way, Riley.
Definitely so. We know it was going to be efficient once he stepped in. We have some breezy conditions tonight and tomorrow. Wind advisory is in effect. Sunshine finally returns tomorrow, but we'll take a look at that rain later into the week next.
Rescued from a meat trade overseas, this Dalmatian is getting a second chance at life. Hear her story and her owner's message about saving a life. Gun sales are at historic levels. Have you ever seen it like this?
Never.
What's causing the run on guns from people arming themselves for the first time? Arming Up, an I-Team investigation, tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Your mission. If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
A dog owner in Charleston celebrating 1 year since rescuing her beloved dog from a meat trade in China.
According to the Humane Society of the United States, more than 30 million dogs die worldwide each year from human consumption, with a third of them, killed in China.
That's a big number, but today, Alexis Simmons introduces us to Emma Rue, a lucky Dalmatian now living her best life.
This is Emma Rue.
And I ended up adopting a senior Dalmatian, and when she passed away, it was about the same time that I saw Emma posted through the Dalmatian Rescue of South Florida, and I guess I just was ready to kind of give love to another animal that needed it.
Radcliffe says Emma arrived with injuries from the meat trade in China, including no front legs and missing parts of her paws. She also says part of her tail and the tips of her ears were cut off. Since her arrival, Emma has been through swim and massage therapy to recover. Radcliffe says the travel and rehabilitation costs were covered by the rescuing organization.
What a long flight. Let's see your pretty face.
One of the biggest things that me and Emma do is we just try to help educate people, and we're just advocating for, the dogs that are still over in China and in Korea and even places like Egypt, that these dogs really don't have a place there in that society. And if we can get them here, they can get adopted and they can have, nice, happy lives.
So Emma's owner says she'll be getting a customized wheelchair just to help her get around. But she's already doing a pretty good job, even on 2 legs.
Yeah, no kidding. The Dalmatian has reached thousands of people with her story so far. She has close to 13,000 followers on Instagram. So if you want to check out her page, it's Emma Rue, only has 2. You can look her up there.
Pretty cute. Emma Rue getting it done in Charleston. Check out today's weather in Philadelphia. Boy, if you have any friends and family in the Northeast, they are having to shovel it out. That's a lot of snow on the ground up there, Riley.
Definitely so, Richard. Whiteout conditions for many places. And actually, just last show, we did get a report that Chester, New Jersey is actually the first one up to 2 feet of snow from this system. So very impressive totals. That's going to continue for them tonight and for at least the first part of their Tuesday. Now, for us, we are drying out. We do have some very light returns on radar from our Columbia radar, showing these mainly through Aiken, Barnwell, Bamberg, Allendale counties. Not much out there. I'm anticipating most of this likely evaporating before it hits the ground. But a look over Grovetown, how about this? A beautiful shot, some crepuscular rays shining down from the clouds there. Good looking sky. We're up to 47 degrees, which is actually the warmest we've been so far here in Augusta, believe it or not. But with the wind, it is making it feel most likely the mid to low 40s the next hour or so. We do have wind advisories in effect for our western counties in Georgia. This is because we are expecting some gusty conditions tonight and tomorrow. We could potentially see some wind gusts over 30 for those western counties throughout the day on Tuesday. Our Georgia counties are currently where you're finding the gustiest conditions. Up in Wilkes County, they're up to 15. Same thing there in Sandersville. Down to Manuel County, they're up to 16. But on the South Carolina side, they're relatively calm. But as we head late tonight and throughout the day Tuesday, everybody's going to be tapping into these gustier winds. So for tonight, you factor in the wind, that cold air, the wind chills will be likely down into the 20s for many of us by sunrise Tuesday. Throughout the day tomorrow, we're expecting those gusty winds between 10 to 15, maybe even more than that at times. And once again, those gusts will be picking up to 30 or even higher than that. But winds will calm down as we roll into Wednesday, not expecting those winds to stay too gusty Wednesday or Thursday. Our current temps have remained in the 40s across the entire area today. Just no warm-up as those clouds stay pretty thick throughout the day. Our South Carolina counties are just shy of the 30s, 41 in Saluda, Barnwell, Allendale as well. Just a few degrees warmer here on the Georgia side of the river. By early tomorrow morning, we are expecting most spots to get down into the mid to low 30s. A few spots definitely expected to hit freezing by tomorrow morning. Now, even if you're not technically at freezing tomorrow, it's definitely going to feel like it. We're expecting those wind chills to be down into the 20s as you wake up early tomorrow morning. As we head throughout the day, we'll likely see highs get back into the 50s by tomorrow afternoon. So a little bit of a warm-up, but I think many of our South Carolina counties and anyone north of I-20 likely going to be another chilly day with those highs generally close to 50. Now, we will bring back sunshine tomorrow, so if you need to wash the car on Tuesday, you got the green light for that. Same thing on Wednesday as well. Seeing plenty of sun Tuesday and Wednesday, but as we head towards Friday, that's when our next front is expected to bring us some showers. We'll have more on that rain chance later in the week towards the end of the show.
Riley, thank you. He is not from down south, but something just keeps bringing him back. We're going to hear from Atlanta Falcons and Georgia Southern kicker about being named an NFL Pro Bowler. That's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Look at that, a beautiful sunrise this morning over the Tampa River Walk. That's where the NFL kicked off its Super Bowl experience over the weekend. Fans had the opportunity to virtually meet and greet the players, play some games, shop all of their team's gear ahead of the big day. Super Bowl 55 is this Sunday with Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. Kickoff is at 6:30. So here we are.
Lots of excitement about the home team playing at home. And for the first time since 1949, the NFL will not be playing a Pro Bowl.
Well, that is not in person, at least. Yesterday, athletes and celebrities played it out virtually on Madden 21, with the NFC winning 32-12.
I think that's a great way to do it, really. Regardless of this year's changes, being named a Pro Bowler is really a huge honor. Lindsey Goff sat down with Falcons kicker and Georgia Southern alum Younghoe Koo about this accomplishment.
Younghoe Koo is just the second player out of Georgia Southern to be named a Pro Bowler. After bouncing around a bit post-graduation, he seems to have found his home in Atlanta.
It's crazy. I joke about it, but like Georgia keeps bringing me back. You know, Georgia Southern, and then AAF for the Legends, and then Atlanta Falcons. So it feels it's really second home to me. Or I mean, right now it's home for me. Grew up in Jersey and then came to Statesboro and keeps coming back to Georgia. So I mean, I love it here.
Koo said that Georgia Southern helped prepare him to compete, partly because he was going against guys like Tyler Bass, who kicked his way into Buffalo's record books this season.
His, you know, like my little brother to me, and we stay in contact. And we definitely started this thing this season where before every game, so Saturday night we would FaceTime and we would talk about how the week went and how we're gonna, you know, what kind of mindset we're bringing or what kind of swing thoughts that we're bringing to that Sunday game.
While the Falcons didn't have the best year, finishing 4-12, Koo hit nearly 95% of his field goal attempts, including one from 54 yards. He accounted for 144 points, the most for any kicker in the NFL. Koo said it was a little disappointing to not get to physically play in the Pro Bowl, but felt honored to represent Atlanta regardless. He says Georgia Southern could be on its way to becoming Specialist U, and his parting message for those watching was simple.
Hail Southern, you know?
Little rain chances over the next 3 days, but Friday to Saturday, our next front's moving in. We'll have a look at that next.
For everyone. Like and follow News 1226 on Facebook for the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
If you are planning to step out this evening, we are expecting some chilly temps. Most of us already down into the mid to low 40s. As we head later into this evening, we're already hitting the 30s after 8 p.m. And then by tomorrow morning, we are expecting those low temperatures most likely down into the low 30s, but feeling like the 20s thanks to some gusty conditions tonight. And throughout the day Tuesday, we are expected to stay pretty windy, but at least getting some sunshine back across the area. Should stay dry until we get to Friday. That's going to be our next approaching front and looking pretty widespread across most of the area.
Fewer patients admitted to our local hospitals. We'll look at the reason for the slowdown when First at 5 continues in 3 minutes.